Fighter jets depend on speed for survival. If your craft doesn't move as fast as the enemy's, there can be grave consequences. In light of such a basic understanding, jet engineers are continually trying to outdo each other to release the fastest fighter plane possible. The following is a list of the top 10 fastest fighter jets in the world today. Number 10. Chengdu J-10. Top speed, 1,451 miles per hour. The Chengdu J-10 is a Chinese multi-role fighter jet that NATO fondly refers to as the Firebird. The Firebird is China's fastest combat aircraft and thus is a prominent figure in the People's Liberation Army Air Force. It is designed and manufactured by the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation. The People's Liberation Army Air Force introduced the J-10 into service in 2003 after its initial test flight in 1998. In the beginning, the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation meant for the J-10 to be a specialized fighter. However, after initial tests and design changes, the J-10 was converted into a multi-role aircraft. Even though there were only 350 J-10s built, the Chengdu J-10 remains China's fastest and most popular jet fighter. Number 9. Dassault Mirage 2000. Top speed, 1,453 miles per hour. Max flight distance, 920 miles. The Mirage 2000 is also a multi-role fighter jet that is made in France by Dassault. As other countries battled for air supremacy, France realized that it also needed a superplane to even the playing field. This is what led to the creation of the Mirage 2000N and 2000D. Initially, they meant for the Mirage 2000N to be a fast attack nuclear weapon, while the Mirage 2000D intercepted and engaged enemies in the air. However, when the Mirage 2000 finally hit the air in the early 80s, they realized it was better equipped for fast attacks, characterized by dropping precision ordnance from low distances. The Mirage was able to approach Mach 2 speed while loaded with guided bombs and missiles. Number 8. F-4 Phantom II. Top speed, 1,472 miles per hour. Maximum flight distance, 1,615 miles. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II is truly the stuff of legend. From its battles in Vietnam to modern-day warfare, the F-4 has proven itself to be a worthy adversary. Designed in the early 60s, the F-4 quickly wrecked all airspeed records that were at that moment. Not only was it efficient at outrunning enemy jets, but also at outfighting them as well. This two-seat, two-engine fighter jet was able to survive multiple generations of superjets, with the last one retiring in 2013. Due to its efficiency, it became the go-to jet for the US Army when it needed to show its enemies a devastating show of force at the front lines. Number 7. Convair F-106. Top speed, 1,526 miles per hour. Maximum flight distance, 1,841 miles. The F-106 is among the rare breed of first-generation fighter jets. Despite its legendary status, the F-106 would be the last fighter jet to prioritize speed over visibility in air-to-air combat. In fact, this is what led to the development of the F-4 Phantom. The Phantom has better radar technology and could carry more weapons. However, when it came to raw speed and maneuverability, the F-106 was superior. Nonetheless, this superjet only tasted service briefly and never saw combat officially. It was mostly used to test the limits for what a fighter bomber in the 1950s was truly capable of. Number 6. Mikoyan MiG-31 Foxhound. Top speed, 1,860 miles per hour. Maximum flight distance, 900 miles. The MiG-31 had everyone in utter shock back in 1977 when it reached an all-new altitude record of 123,530 feet. It also simultaneously set a new record for the most height reached in the least time at 115,000 feet in just 4 minutes. Such stellar records led the Soviet Union to adopt the Mikoyan MiG-31 as its premier fighter jet at the time. Additionally, it was also among the first generation of jets that were able to use radar to detect and intercept stealth fighters. Consequently, the development of the MiG-31 marked the first strike in the new wave of air superiority contests between NATO and the Soviet Union. The aircraft could get to altitude in record time, stay in the air for lengthy periods, lock onto both conventional and stealth crafts, and unleash long-range radar-guided missiles. Those attributes are still effective, even in today's air contests. The Russian MiG-31 is expected to remain in service until 2013. Number 5. Mikoyan Yi-152. Top speed 1,883 miles per hour. Maximum flight distance 913 miles. At the height of the Cold War, the Soviet Union designed 2 single-engine fighter jets in a bid to claim airspeed superiority. As such, the purpose was to see what the limits were in world airspeed records. The principle was fundamental back then. It was who could get to a location first, drop their loot, and get away unscathed. The Yi-152 showed a lot of promise as a solution to NATO's F-100, F-101, and the F-106. Nonetheless, the Yi-152 was all flash but no cash. Sure, it could achieve dizzying speeds of up to Mach 2.8 plus. However, its engine reliability and combat viability left a lot to be desired. As such, the Soviet Union figured that the Yi-150 family was better suited to having 2 engines rather than 1. This led to the development of the Yi-152A, which used an R-11 twin turbojet design that proved to be a lot more reliable. The Yi-152A was better equipped at withstanding the stresses of sustained supersonic flight. Sadly, a crash in 1995 led to the demise of the Yi-152A test craft. Number 4. North American XB-70 Valkyrie. Top speed 2,050 miles per hour. Max flight distance 3,725 miles. Performance aside, the XB-70 has to be one of the most aesthetically pleasing fighter crafts ever designed. Also, its legacy would end up being something entirely different from what it was intended to do. Originally, the XB-70 was designed to be the most lethal manned strategic bomber known to man. This involved cruise speeds of up to Mach 3 at altitudes of around 70,000 feet. The bomber's design not only looked good, but also had an innovative wing structure that would allow it to perform as a true marvel of engineering. In the meantime, however, there was another aviation sector that was drawing a lot of attention as well, and it was known as supersonic transport. Incidentally, it just so happened that the XB-70's size and material were just what was needed for testing supersonic transport. As a result, the XB-70's purpose changed from that of a lethal bomber to a research aircraft. Its initial test flights proved to be a source of invaluable information for supersonic transport designers. Unfortunately, these 2 tests resulted in 2 casualties, which cast a dark cloud over the program. Nonetheless, the XB-70 Valkyrie remains one of the baddest research aircraft ever designed. Number 3. The MiG-25 Foxbat. Top speed 2,170 miles per hour. Max flight distance 1,075 miles. As NATO's F-4 Phantom II was flexing its wings as the most dangerous aerial combatant in the world, the Soviet Union was in the lab cooking up a worthy adversary for the Phantom, the MiG-25 Foxbat. As you can imagine, the Foxbat was designed for extreme speed and super maneuverability. When the MiG-25 hit the skies in 1964, you could have picked NATO's jaws off the floor. The F-4 was undoubtedly the king of the heavens at that time, but it had met its match. The 2 fighter jets went toe-to-toe over northern Vietnam, with none coming off as superior to the other. The MiG-25 is a true engineering marvel, considering its exemplary performance coupled with affordability. To this day, the MiG-25s are still in service, even though most of them have been upgraded into the MiG-31. Number 2. The Lockheed YF-12. Top speed 2,275 miles per hour. Maximum flight distance 3,000 miles. The Lockheed YF-12 definitely deserves its position in the fighter jet Hall of Fame, as the legendary SR-71 Blackbird draws its inspiration from it. Upon its release in the early 60s, the YF-12 quickly dismantled any pre-existing flight records. However, there was so much secrecy shrouding the YF-12 program that people didn't realize it was the first actual test of stealth technology. The YF-12's mission was to make science fiction a reality through attaining speeds of Mach 3+. Nonetheless, the program was defunded, and the YF-12 was designated to be a high-altitude recon aircraft. Fortunately, however, it provided the blueprint for the SR-71. Number 1. Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. Top speed, 2,500 miles per hour. Maximum flight distance, 3,337 miles. Ask any aerospace enthusiast, and they will tell you that the SR-71 Blackbird is among their most favorite fighter jets, and with good reason. It is in a class of its own. The Blackbird has not only blown away world airspeed records time and time again, but it has also won multiple awards for achievements in aeronautic design, performance, and versatility. The SR-71 is a stealth fighter that can barely be seen, let alone hit. The only military jet that comes close is the Soviet MiG-25 Foxbat, and even it has an incredibly difficult time keeping up with the undisputed king of fighter jets.